Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Cybertruck?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Salt Lake City to be able to afford this car?
So ultimately started in the game of real estate and
Entrepreneurship, man. I'm 36 years old and I've built 35 companies.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
We've done over $600 million in the last decade or so.
Over $10 million.
8 figures, cleared $10 million.
How many companies do you own?
A lot.
How many?
I'd have to count them up, but several dozen.
I could start over today at a job that pays me $3,000 a month, and in less than a year, I would be back to being a millionaire.
What is your net worth now? Salt Lake City is home to some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the entire world. And today, we're going to be going around the wealthiest parts of Salt Lake City to ask some of these successful business owners how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Cybertruck?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Salt Lake City to be able to afford this car?
I build gaming computers.
So you're a business owner.
Yes, I am.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
32 years.
And over these last 32 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
We've done over $600 million in the last decade or so.
Is it 600 million?
600 million.
And have you ever been broke before?
Totally broke. Came to Utah with $50.
So how'd you turn $50 into 600 million?
Execution.
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 And I go all over the country just asking business owners their advice to young entrepreneurs. Is it cool if we ask you a few questions for the channel?
Yeah, totally cool.
What was the best financial decision that you made throughout your career?
Building the biggest Bitcoin mining facility in Utah in 2014.
You built the biggest Bitcoin mining facility.
By mistake, because we're a computer company. We were sitting on a bunch of video cards, and we're like, well, let's hook them up. Yeah. And we started mining Bitcoin.
So how long have you been in crypto for?
Since 2013.
Is crypto the future of our economy?
I believe it's a big piece of it.
How so?
I believe the government is going to release the central bank digital currency, and most real-world assets will all be tokenized. And we've already seen this with BlackRock starting to tokenize.
Have you ever met a billionaire before?
Yes, I have a few mentors that are, and they've taught me the ways.
What was your lowest point in your career as an entrepreneur?
I hired a very bad marketing manager, and he lost $800,000 of my money in 90 days. And this is when I didn't have a lot, and it almost put me out of business.
How did you come back from that?
We had to lay off 75 people because of that mistake that was made. And so what I did is got back to basics, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, hired great tax people, accountants, all that to look at all the books, talked to mentors, framed it out, executed, and within 12 months, we'd recovered.
And if you lost everything tomorrow, could you make it all back?
Absolutely.
How so?
Selling.
And how can somebody break into the tech industry in 2024?
Well, when I started in the early 90s, the internet was new and everybody thought it was a scam. So I embraced it because I thought a lot of people would be getting on there and having problems they needed solved. That same thing is going to happen right now with blockchain and AI. It's 1992 all the way again now. So that fresh opportunity is there with undiscovered billions to be made.
You got amazing advice, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. We are now in the hidden hills of Salt Lake City to interview one of the most renowned entrepreneurs out here, Chris Crone. This guy has owned hundreds of businesses and has done billions of dollars in sales throughout his career. We're here at his estate right here out in Salt Lake City. We're gonna go figure out what he was able to do to become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the game. Let's go see what he has to say. What's up, guys? How are you doing? Good to see you, man.
James?
Yes, sir. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
So ultimately started in the game of real estate and started with a small portfolio of 25 homes. That meant that when I graduated college, I didn't need to get a job. But then from there, it turned into thousands of homes.
Thousands of homes.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in real estate for?
20 years.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Cleared $10 million.
Over $10 million. And there's a big misconception in today's world that you have to have a ton of money to start creating wealth in real estate. What would you say is that first move, that first actionable step that somebody can take in real estate today to start generating some wealth?
I house hacked. I mean, I put a 3% down payment on my very first house, bought it below market. So that meant that I could strip the equity out, and that house bought my next house. Because about how I bought the second house, that house bought my third house. And that's how it erupted into a big portfolio. And I just learned early on, you actually don't need money or credit to really transact real estate in high volume.
Are you a business owner?
Yeah.
How many companies do you own?
A lot.
How many?
I'd have to count them up, but several dozen.
What's the most common mistake that you see business owners make that prevents them from scaling and having that longevity?
They trust their accountants. They trust their CFOs. You're the CFO. If you're the business owner, the language of business is accounting, which means you have to learn to read your own financials. You have to understand what a margin is. You have to know what your gross revenue is. You have to know what your expenses are. And if you're trusting a controller or an accountant to basically serve that up to you, then you can be good at maybe making revenue, but the reality is you're not going to keep very much of it if you're trusting someone else to help figure that component out for you.
So what is a lesson about money that you would teach teaches somebody that they won't learn in business school?
Financial arbitrage. So the game is, if I can borrow money at 3 or 5 or 7%, but I can earn 25 or 50 or 100% on it, all I'm really doing to build wealth is I'm borrowing money at cheap rates, and then I'm putting investments at high rates, and I'm just the arbitrages, the delta, it's the middle part. That part's for me for being smart enough to not trust other people with my money instead. I can learn how to play that game.
And majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. From your perspective, what keeps people broke in today's world?
They're taking advice from poor people. Poor people are teaching poor people how to become more poor. And that's weird because they're like crabs in a bucket and they're basically pulling everyone down. And that's the nightmare of the game. You have to free yourself from that game. And the number one fear, when I really get down to it, like what keeps people from jumping in and finding a mentor and making very different financial choices and learning how to invest, is they're afraid they're going to lose their family and friends. And the truth is, you will. You will lose some of your family and friends. They're going to say, financially, that's too weird and that's too different. But for every person you lose, you're going to open up into a whole new world of other people that are going to inspire even deeper greatness in you.
Hey, that was phenomenal, bro.
I
Chris,
appreciate you. Thank
that
you.
was awesome, man. So my guy Chris just dropped some incredible advice for all the young entrepreneurs out there, but I've got another special surprise for you. We're here at Keaton Hoskins' house. Keaton has owned and operated over 30 businesses over the last 20 years, and we're here to get his secrets on how he's became one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the entire country. So with that being said, come with me to see what Keaton has to say.
What's up, fellas? Nice to meet you.
James, great to meet you, man. Thanks for having us out, man. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Entrepreneurship, man. I'm 36 years old and I've built 35 companies from the time I was 21. So all the industries, any industry I could start a business in, that was the industry I was in.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
This is going to sound really stupid, but I don't know how much money I've made in the last 4 years. I know that sounds really bad, but I still currently, I own 4 companies now. I have no idea. Over $10 million. I can say that.
Over $10 million.
Yeah.
What's been the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your career?
2 things. I live and die by saying you should learn how to downgrade your lifestyle so you can upgrade your life. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. 1 in 4 millionaires still live paycheck to paycheck because they refuse to downgrade their lifestyle for a moment so they can upgrade their life. Now, if you decide to do that, then my second piece of advice is you should only dump money into 2 things. Personal investment into you and investing into your company. That's it. You shouldn't be spending money anywhere else. If it's not to help you grow or your business grow, you should not be spending money until you have so much money that you don't know what to do with. The more money I put into me, the more money I make. The more money I put into my business, the more money my business makes. It's all about investing into 2 things, you and the business.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because a lot of people, they'll make some money and they'll instantly want to diversify and jump from industry to industry. How important for you has it been becoming an expert, the best in the world at one thing or just a few things, as opposed to trying to diversify and jump from industry to industry?
Dude, fuck diversifying, fuck portfolios, go deep. That means find one thing and go deep. There's no person on this earth that did 40 things with a shotgun approach and made a ton of money in 40 different things. They didn't do it. Now, most people will tell you that's what they're doing. They're not. They made their money in one thing. They found one thing and they went hard as shit. Everybody comes to me and they're like, hey, I got 100 grand. I want to do stock market. I want to do Bitcoin. I want to start a business. I want to buy a business. I want to do this. No. Find one thing that you can get behind. As human beings, our capability is huge. But at 20% that I'm giving to 5 different things, I'll never be able to reach anything of significance in those things. If I put 100% in one thing, I'll crush that one thing.
And have you ever been broke before?
Honestly, no. I mean, dude, when I was 21, I had $100 in my bank account. When my father passed away, I had $100 in my bank account. That, I think, is as broke as you can be. And I just vowed to my dad that I would never in my life be in a place where I needed somebody to help me. That's why I decided I was going to build everything on my back. I've never been given money, ever. I've never had an investor do something. I mean, other than maybe buying a house or a car, I've never been given money. So I've never been broke because I always knew how to manage money. I tell people this all the time. If you can't manage $100, you can't manage 100,000, you can't manage $1 million. Everybody says, well, if I had more money, I would do that. No, you wouldn't. You'd blow that shit and you'd be living paycheck to paycheck, even if you had $10 million. So for me, I always lived by that and I never wanted to be broke, so I wasn't.
Majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck in today's world. You even brought up how 1 in 4 millionaires are living paycheck to paycheck. From your perspective, what keeps people broke in today's world?
They spend too much money on shit that they don't need. You don't need to to do that. Like, dude, I hear people all the time. The biggest problem we have in our culture right now is entitlement. Everybody thinks that they're owed something. You're not owed shit. No one's coming to save you. Stop living this fucking life that you think you deserve. You don't deserve shit. Dude, if I went back and I had to make $3,000 a month, I'm not kidding. I would find 4 roommates, a place that was $1,000 a month. We would split it. I would be driving Uber because I wouldn't have a car. I would be riding my bike. I would be cooking my meals. I wouldn't be spending money on anything. I'd probably have the same fucking outfit every day because I would stop spending money on shit that I don't need. Dude, you've got people in Africa wearing the same clothes, eating 1 meal a day. They're not spending any money. And you're telling me you can't live like that? That's garbage, dude. You just think because you live here that you're owed the house and the apartment and the car and the ring and the watch. That's bullshit. You're not owed any of that. You didn't earn it. And until you earn it, you can't have it. My assistant, he's from Mexico. All the people usually that come across from Mexico, they're the hardest workers. You know why? Because they're living in dirt huts. They have nothing. They're not expected to have anything. They don't have any entitlement. They're here, hey man, I'm just here to fucking work. I'm here to build something and I'm trying to make as much money as I can so I can send it back to my family. For some reason, people here in the United States think that we're owed something. We're not owed shit. You are owed nothing, and your entitlement is going to keep you broke the rest of your life.
Oh my God, yo. Wow. That was phenomenal. That's a wrap on today's video, you guys. Salt Lake City's got some crazy business owners out here, but I want you to like and subscribe for amazing content coming very soon.